Bum bum ba da ba ba. We in. We in.
There we go.
We're in. It's happening.
We are.
We're live. Not really. Welcome to the Chris and Kyle Show, everybody. He's Chris. I'm Kyle.
Hey, people.
This is our Jackie Robinson episode.
Mm-hmm.
Not because it is hugely monumental in the history of race relations in America and sports, but because it is the 42nd episode, the number he wore.
Yeah.
But
That's
shout out
much
Jackie Robinson. You're a super important figure in history. And I did a book report on you in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Also played by Chadwick Boseman. So
In a film called
that's
42.
Great. That's pretty great.
Yeah. Chadwick's great. Welcome to the show.
How are you feeling, dude?
I feel pretty good.
I
feel like we need to tell the people something.
Oh, what's that?
That there's a poll
Mm-hmm.
and that they should send us questions. That's pretty much it. You know, we're doing a Q&A episode because we're too dumb to come up with content.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just ask us questions about stuff that we like and that you like, that we can just talk about and give answers to, we can fill out a whole episode with that shit. It's going to be great. So just ask us stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And vote on the poll because we do that every month. And you know how it works. Cowboy Bebop, Neon Genesis Evangelion, anime off.
Good pronunciation there.
Thank you.
Solid.
Thank you. I am a training to be a voice actor. What were you going to say? You feel what?
I said I feel good. I'm still
that's
riding
good.
off the high of seeing that movie.
Yeah.
We're doing Peanut Butter Falcon.
We just recorded
on
our
Thursday,
episode for the Peanut Butter Falcon, which will come out this Thursday. And spoiler alert, we both really liked it.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of movies, we saw a trailer before this.
We did.
Movie. I didn't even know anything about this movie until I saw
I
the
had no
trailer.
idea this was a movie that was happening.
Yeah.
I also had no idea that it was Renee Zellweger the whole time I was watching the trailer.
Yeah.
Which,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I guess props. Good work, Renee Zellweger. You know, transform into the character of Judy Garland
she's
for
definitely...
the film Judy.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was Michelle Williams the whole time.
Right.
Yeah.
Who she already played a...
Did she play
Hollywood
Marilyn
starlet.
Monroe?
She played Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah.
In
I like that movie.
My Week with Marilyn.
I liked that
That was one
movie.
of our Redbox movies.
Holy shit, you're
Yeah.
right. Good days, dude.
Yeah.
We were young and
Not going to college.
young and skipping class. Just renting so many movies out of Redbox.
Right.
Oh, man. My Week with Marilyn. Domhnall Gleeson's in that, right?
Is it Donald? No, it's Dominic. I don't think it's Donald Gleeson.
I'm going to find out. Anyway, you want to talk
It's
about
the
Judy?
dude that was in Devil's Double.
I don't. You want to talk about Judy? Not the person, Judy. The film.
Judy Garland.
Eddie Redmayne.
It seems really interesting. Eddie Redmayne's in it. Is Dominic whatever his face is in it? Is he in it?
I don't know. There's a lot of people. Kenneth Branagh's in it.
We are struggling. Okay,
Yep.
so Judy, like you said, you couldn't even recognize Renee Zellweger.
Yeah.
She looks older.
Mhm.
She looks just. She's
Dominic
acting her ass
Cooper.
off
Yes,
here.
you are correct. Dominic Cooper.
Dominic Cooper.
Howard Stark.
Yeah,
She's acting her ass off.
mm-hmm.
They
fairly unrecognizable.
They
I
made
knew it was
her
Renee.
look like she had work done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
like,
know.
there was, like,
I don't know
all
whether
of-
or not Renee Zellweger's had work done, but like there's like the thing on the lips
Right.
and the cheeks.
Well, and like the teeth are different too. I don't know if you looked at her teeth. But yeah, her delivery and everything.
Yeah.
It seems like really, really interesting.
Spot on.
I'm mildly excited for it. It's not like
I don't know a lot about Judy Garland. I just know that she's Dorothy in Wizard of Oz. That's basically all I know.
Mm-hmm.
When she started singing over the rainbow, I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about the story with her children or with this dude that's hiding under, pulling a Michael Scott and riding in on a food cart thing. I don't know much about her story.
Right. It just seems like a really cool vehicle for a good Renee Zellweger performance.
Yeah.
So,
That's what I feel like biopics are that a lot, right? It's just like, this is a good vehicle for this actor
Yeah.
to do a thing.
it's Oscar bait.
Yeah. Oscar bait.
Mm.
I don't like the term Oscar bait.
Why?
I don't know. It's just like, it seems like it's there's a lot of really great movies that get nominated for Oscars, and it seems like the idea of Oscar bait is like
Has a
belittling
negative
of those movies.
Yeah, it has like a negative connotation.
Yeah, like obviously like 12 Years a Slave is Oscar bait, but it's a
Right.
fucking great movie
Uh-huh.
with a lot of, hard work and good intentions put behind it. Like,
Yeah.
it's just kind of weird to me.
Yeah, I guess it does kind of have like a negative connotation. Like it comes off as pretentious when you call
Yeah.
something Oscar bait.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
fucking pretentious dick calling it
Yeah.
Oscar bait. You jerk.
I'm the pretentious one for calling it Oscar bait. I guess maybe you could say that.
I'll cop to it. Okay, can we talk about the trailer that we watched that came out this week that like I'm super hyped for?
What's that?
Honey Boy.
Okay, yeah.
And like we mentioned, we've got the Peanut Butter Falcon episode coming out. So we just spent the last like hour talking about Shia LaBeouf and how great he is in that
Right.
movie. And about how, we all know Shia LaBeouf's nuts and he does stupid shit, but he's incredibly talented. He's a great actor. And this movie coming out, Honey Boy, is written by Shia LaBeouf about his own life, and he's playing his own dad in the movie.
Do you think that like the casual movie watcher would say that Shia LaBeouf is a good actor?
No, because I think they just think of Transformers
Yeah.
and
Even Stevens.
even
right?
Stevens, yeah.
Maybe Holes. Like that's
Maybe
those are probably
Holes,
his,
yeah. Maybe.
like
So, yeah,
Eagle Eye.
I think a
those
lot
kind
of the
movies?
stuff that Shia LaBeouf is, because he had that window where he was like an action kid.
Mhm.
He was in action movies.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of the stuff that he's really great in, people haven't seen.
Right. What have you seen that he was? other
Fury,
than
he's amazing in Fury.
Okay.
He's good in Lawless. He's great in the Peanut Butter Falcon.
Mm-hmm. Nymphomaniac was.
I never saw Nymphomaniac.
Was the one for me that.
I mean, his greatest performance, Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull.
Obviously.
Dude, he was in. Yeah. Surf's Up, dude. His greatest. Disturbia? I never saw Disturbia. Now this is, dude, he was an iRobot. He's the kid that cusses in iRobot, and they're like, "Don't cuss." Remember that? Yeah. I never saw American Honey, but I heard good things.
Mm-hmm.
Weird honey theme coming up in his
Yeah.
career.
Kind of strange.
Anyway, yeah. So like this movie, Honey Boy, written by Shia LaBeouf, starring Shia LaBeouf as Shia LaBeouf's real life dad. Noah Jupe and Lucas Hedges both play fake Shia LaBeouf, whose name is Otis in the movie. Lucas Hedges is great. Like anytime I see him in something, I get excited.
Mm-hmm.
Noah Jupe's a solid kid actor too. Like
Yeah, he was in Wonder.
He's the nice kid in Wonder. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in A Quiet Place. Plays one of John Krasinski and Emily Blunt's children. He's not Jacob Tremblay level, but he's close. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
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 That would be disrespectful.
It'd be disrespectful to call anyone Jacob Tremblay level. Dude, when Jacob Tremblay wins an Oscar, we're just gonna end the show. It's over. We've done our job.
because it will be because of this show.
Yeah, we did it. We did it. Tremblay Nation, stand up.
It would be really sad if Jacob Tremblay ended up having most child actors, ended up having a
Don't
really
say
fucked
that.
up life.
I don't wish that upon him.
God, that would suck.
It could happen. You never know. I feel like it's gotten better. I feel like a lot of people that we grew up with, people that are our age, a lot of the people who on Disney Channel and Nickelodeon back then don't seem like they went nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them do,
Right.
but not as many as what seems like usually happens.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's kind of like sports. I think knowledge and education is a big part of it, and parenting. So athletes are better now than they've ever been because the science has improved, and from a young age on, you're training at a higher level, right? With more knowledge of how to train. And I think kid actors, because of the stigma of what happens to kid actors, their parents know what can happen to them. And I think studios even understand that shit. They're like, yo, we can't be having our 16-year-old Disney Channel star be getting pulled over for drunk driving. So I think there's more, maybe, I don't know if this is a fact or not, but I think there's maybe more support systems out there for kid actors.
Because of the awareness?
Also, on top of that, I think we're also in an era where everyone can kind of feel like everything they do matters all the time, and it used to just be like that. Like if you were a child actor who was really famous, everyone cared about you were on magazines and you're on the news and stuff like that. Now everyone's posting everything about themselves all the time, so it's like less important seeming. You know what I mean?
Like every kid's kind of like
every kid has like that own sort of like they can feel that self-importance.
Yeah, avenues of self
Yeah.
of attention.
Yeah.
I think that might have something to do with it. I don't really know.
And a lot of it is also kept quiet.
I would
like Daniel Radcliffe has talked about how he struggled with drinking during the filming of the last 2 Harry Potter movies.
Right.
But he like did his work and then he went to rehab and there was never a peep about it. And he worked on it. And probably I would guess as addicts do, he continues to work on it. I don't know if he was, I don't want to say he was an addict. I don't know what the problem was. I just know that he said he struggled with alcohol when he was filming those movies. Love that dude. He's great.
Honey Boy.
Honey Boy.
You want to talk about Low Tide?
That's the gold one, right?
Yeah.
With the gold.
Yeah.
It's A24, so I was like, oh, A24. Mm-hmm. And then I saw the trailer and I was like, this looks interesting.
Who's that? What's that kid from?
Which
he's
kid? There's a lot.
He's in It.
There's a lot of kids.
One of those kids is in It.
Is it the one who's like, you left me? You left me behind. The younger brother?
Yeah.
He's in It? Oh, is he young James McAvoy?
Maybe.
I think I saw the new I saw the new It trailer yesterday before I saw Hobbs and Shaw, and there's a scene in it in the trailer where like they show the kid and then it fades and they show the adult, so like who they grow up. That one dude looks like he looks more like Denzel Washington than Denzel Washington's son does.
Wait, the Old Spice dude?
Huh?
The Old Spice?
That's
dude?
the Old Spice guy?
Yeah.
What? The dude that's like a centaur?
Uh-huh.
What? Good for him.
Uh-huh.
Good work, dude.
Yeah.
Wow. I think it's just the hair that he's got in that movie. I had a very strong Denzel Washington vibe from him.
Maybe.
Yeah. You're talking about
if they like were like sunglasses and I could like take them off, like I wish my interest for it was like sunglasses and I could let you wear them for a bit, so that you could see what I like about that movie so much.
No, like I saw the most recent trailer and I was like watching it and I was like, I understand why people like this. It's just not for me. It's not everybody has to like everything. Mm-hmm. And I know sometimes I can sound like a hypocrite saying that because I'll get angry about stuff.
Yeah.
I'll be like, how the fuck can you not like Harry Potter? That's insane. Mm-hmm. But it's because I love it.
But there's also
I feel what you're saying.
There's so much more to it than just like horror and stuff. Like
I
there's
understand
a lot of
that.
friendship.
I understand that. And I'll admit, I saw Finn Wolfhard become Bill Hader and I was like, that's interesting. I love Bill Hader. Especially since I've seen Barry. Like I love him like astronomically more since then. So I was like, hell yeah, dude. And there's like a scene where he's like screaming in the trailer and I was like, looks like Bill Hader's fucking going hard in this movie. The cast is great. And fucking what's his face is doing the Pennywise thing. He's being all spooky and shit. There's a part at the end of the trailer where he like doesn't have all the makeup on and it looks like he's like crying.
Really?
And there's like a lot of the makeup is like washed off and he's like going like this and he's making weird noises and I was like, is that Alexander Skarsgård?
I think it's Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah, that's right. It's Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah.
There's so many Skarsgårds. Fucking.
It's one of my favorite performances like the past 10 years. I fucking love him as Pennywise.
What is it with clowns putting up good performances? Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah. Has there ever been a bad clown performance?
Jared Leto.
That dude from Billy Madison?
Jared Leto.
He was more of a gangster than a clown, I think.
He was a clown of a gangster. I'll give you that. I mean, we can probably assume that
he was a clown-ass gangster.
Yeah. Like, we can probably assume Joaquin Phoenix is going to be a great clown. Just probably.
Yeah.
Mostly because he's Joaquin Phoenix. Anyway. Yeah, like that. This movie, what was it called? The Low Tide?
Low Tide.
I was like, I saw the A24 thing, and I was like, that'll always pique my interest. And I was like, ooh, interesting. And I saw like the premise, these kids, and they're like, they find a treasure or something, and there's like some young love vibes going on. I'm like, okay, interesting. And then Shea Wiggum showed up, and I was like, I like that dude. I like him a lot. And he plays like a cop.
Shea Wiggum from True Detective. He was also in Homecoming.
Homecoming. Yeah,
Homecoming
sorry.
With
Julia
Homecoming.
Roberts. His daughter was in Punisher.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But yeah, Shea Wiggum's cool. Like
Shea Wiggum?
He's like blown up and like He's worked a lot the past couple years, and he's been in a bunch of stuff that we've seen. So yeah, I like saw him, and I'm like, okay. And then like the end of the trailer is like this like kid is like, they're like, this kid's scary, and I was like, he's just a kid. They're like, Red is like, they call him Red. I was like, oh man, it's a scary kid. And the one kid like sips a juice box. You're like, oh, that kid, all right. It seems
funny.
interesting. It seems interesting.
Yeah, that seemed funny. But I kind of like stories like that where like
it's good.
The antagonist is kind of someone that
you're close to. Yeah.
Well, that you're close to, but like you're also kind of like
you wouldn't.
I feel like
I could beat you up.
Yeah,
I could beat you up.
Fight,
yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. So yeah, like I'm like. It's one of those movies where I'll, like when it comes out, I'll see what the consensus on the movie is.
Right.
I'll check all the different spaces, and then if it's good, I'll see it for sure. But it's also a movie that if it came out and everyone was like, "This movie sucks," I would not be surprised.
What's the worst A24 movie that's come out?
Probably a random horror movie, I would guess. They
A24
do a lot of horror movies.
A24 should make a clown movie. It's fucking guaranteed to win.
You're right. Guaranteed to win what?
Win.
Just win.
That's it.
We are winning.
She doesn't have to win a thing. It's
That's
just
true.
winning.
Okay. I can vibe with that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't read your handwriting, and I don't want to open my notes. What's the next one on there?
The day should come.
The Day Shall Come.
The day shall come.
That was the one with
the dude that's like starting like some weird cult.
Oh, that's the weird one.
Yeah.
Okay, so Anna Kendrick plays some sort of government agent who is being tasked with framing someone for being a terrorist to make people think that they're stopping terrorism.
Right.
It's completely weird looking. Mm-hmm. And there's this dude who's in Miami, apparently, and he like wants to do like community outreach, but he's like this insane. He like thinks there's dinosaurs and shit. Yeah. It just looks super weird and fun. Like it's a very wonky looking movie, and I love Anna Kendrick. So like whenever I see her in something, I'm like, I'll watch that.
From the director of Four Lions, I don't know if you.
I don't know what Four Lions is.
You don't know what Four Lions is?
No.
So I haven't seen Four Lions, but I know the story of it, and it's actually pretty interesting. Mm-hmm. Apparently, like it's a movie about 4 terrorists. But it's like I overheard a conversation on a podcast when they were talking about it. They were like, "This is like a prompt that you would get in a writing class, like to try and come up with."
Yo, Riz Ahmed's in it.
Right.
Love him.
To try and come up with how to make characters that shouldn't be likable.
4 incompetent British terrorists set out to train for and commit an act of terror. Mm-hmm. It's a comedy crime drama.
Right.
Interesting. The poster just says funny, 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 funny. It's just like a bunch of different reviews calling it funny.
But yeah, that caught my attention because apparently Four Lions is really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his name is, the director's name is Christopher Morris. Is that you and Michael pushed into one person?
That's our baby. Last trailer that we watched, A Million Little Pieces.
Aaron Taylor Johnson and Charlie Hunnam and Billy Bob Thornton and Giovanni Ribisi, thank you.
There you go, you got it.
Directed by Aaron Taylor Johnson's wife, Sam Taylor Johnson.
Right. Have you ever watched any of her movies before?
I don't think so.
She did one starring Aaron Taylor Johnson, where
I'm pretty sure they met filming something.
Where he played John Lennon.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's not that great of a movie.
No.
Yeah, the idea of the movie.
Oh, she did 50 Shades of Grey. Mm-hmm. She did The Weeknd's Earned It video. Mm-hmm. Keep up.
Which isn't that kind of the same thing
as 50 Shades of Grey? Oh, wasn't Earned It for the movie?
Yeah,
I think you're right. That explains it. She's in a lot of music videos. Some Elton John music videos. What is the movie that she made with Aaron Taylor Johnson? Gypsy? No. Is it Nowhere Boy?
Yep.
Okay.
That's it.
I like Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's really good. I feel like he's like when I think of Aaron Taylor Johnson, I think of Kick-Ass. But he doesn't do stuff like Kick-Ass very often. You know what I mean? And then he's like randomly, he's Quicksilver in the MCU. Mm-hmm. It's really weird. he can flip.
When I think of Aaron Taylor Johnson, I think of like, I don't think of Kick-Ass.
No?
I have to remind myself that like
That
that's
he was Kick-Ass?
Yeah, that's how like he
I love
gained
that movie.
fame.
I never saw the second one, but I loved Kick-Ass. Movie's wild.
I really enjoyed Kick-Ass, but he's just like a completely different character from what he usually plays.
Yeah. But yeah, he plays like a
drug addict.
A drug addict who. That's the thing. So it says in the trailer, based off the controversial book. Apparently, this book was written, I think, by whoever Aaron Taylor Johnson is playing, and like he lied about half the shit in the book. Apparently,
Oh,
that's
really?
like that's what people say about it. That's why they said controversial book. Do
That's
you get the
kinda
vibes
whack.
that Billy Bob Thornton is playing God or Jesus? I think like God, like an impersonation. That's the vibe I got.
Yeah.
I got that vibe.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it's.
Maybe.
I don't know why I got it, but I got that vibe. It was almost like The Shack. The book.
The Shack.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna talk about like some movie
No,
that Shaquille O'Neal was in.
No, not Shaq. The Shack.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It kind of. For some reason, I got this weird like vibe of like, this is somebody doing like a look at my like edgy take on God. You know what I
Right,
mean? I don't
right.
know why I thought that.
Did you ever read The Shack?
No, my mom did.
I read The Shack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you love it?
It was interesting. It's an interesting book. Try to answer some like really tough questions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, does God still love like,
Can God look like a woman?
well, like a child murderer, right? Should he
Mhm.
like still love a child?
They made that into a movie a few years ago, didn't they?
Maybe.
I very vivid. It's got like Sam Worthington in it, I think.
Oh, The Shack.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
I remember that trailer because the trailer is like this weird. They make it seem like it's going to be like Prisoners with Hugh Jackman, and then like halfway through the trailer, they're like, "Nope, psych. It's not about Sam Worthington like looking for his daughter or anything. It's just The Shack." And I was like, "That's weird."
Yeah. It had what's her face is God, right? It had the girl from Shape of Water and The Help.
Octavia Spencer. Yes.
Yeah, Octavia
Yes,
Spencer.
you are correct. You are correct. Tim McGraw. That's the most Tim McGraw movie I've ever heard of.
Mhm, for
Jesus
sure.
Christ. Come on, Tim McGraw. If you think Tim McGraw, you think of The Shack. Don't give me that look.
Did you just parody a Taylor Swift song?
I did.
Okay.
But then I forgot like how it kept going. I only remembered the part that goes, if you think Tim McGraw. I don't remember what goes on after that.
You don't even remember like the melody or
Nope.
anything? Okay.
Nope. That's why I lost it there.
Yeah.
And then I know a lot of Taylor Swift songs. I unironically love Taylor Swift's music.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Why?
Why do I love it? Because when I listen to it, I enjoy it.
Why?
Like, why do you like any music you listen to?
It's dark.
That is not
Spooky.
Taylor Swift music. I'll give you that.
Spooky.
I'll give you that. You just listen to like horror soundtracks and the Monster Mash.
Yeah. I'm gonna get into that in my shout out, but
You're gonna get into the Monster Mash in your shout out?
no, not in the Monster Mash, but like about dark music.
Now I'm disappointed.
Yeah. A Million Little Pieces. I really like. There was some like interesting visual shit.
Yeah,
in that
that's
trailer.
the other thing that's
I
cool.
wanted
There's
to bring
like
that up.
he seems like he's like hallucinating or something.
Right.
Yeah. And they literally say there's a line of dialogue while he watches his food get gross, and they say a line of dialogue where he says like, "I've never seen so much degradation in someone so young," and he's having these like hallucinations.
Like, and it looks like his food is like shrinking as if
Yeah,
it's like.
and then
like,
there's
like a lung that's like.
yeah, and then there's the ones
collapsing.
later where there's like mud running down the walls and he starts slipping in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting looking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's some cool visual stuff, and again, like how Judy looks like a vehicle for Renee Zellweger, this looks like a vehicle for Aaron Taylor Johnson.
I feel like he's in movies like that a lot though.
Yeah.
And they just like never really hit.
You've seen Nocturnal Animals, right?
Yes.
Is he good in Nocturnal Animals?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like he would be.
I'm trying to.
But like, how can you be around Jake Gyllenhaal and not bring your A game?
Aaron Taylor Johnson's the best performance in that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't
Amy Adams is in that
get
movie.
nominated for an Oscar for that movie?
Amy Adams?
Yeah.
I think it was nominated for a couple Oscars.
Yeah. Amy Adams
it was
gets
directed
nominated.
by Tom Ford.
Yeah.
You know that?
I knew
Yeah.
that. Amy Adams gets nominated for so many Oscars.
Yeah.
I feel the same way.
Darling. What?
The way that you just said, yeah,
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it.
About Amy Adams?
Like I
I'm just fine with it.
I don't dislike her.
Yeah.
But like she gets tons of Oscar nominations.
Well,
and I'm like,
she's also in a lot of really good shit.
that's
You
true.
know what I mean?
But like, like she got an Oscar nomination for Vice, and I was like, she's fine. She plays the role. I didn't think that she was like sensational,
Right.
above and beyond what was required of the
I like
part.
her in American Hustle.
Yeah, she's really good in American Hustle.
I like her in American
Christian Bale's really good in that movie too.
Mhm.
Fucking fat Christian Bale, but not as fat as Dick Cheney Christian Bale.
David O. Russell, American Hustle.
What's he up to?
What?
David O. Russell.
What's he doing?
He blew up for like 2 years, and then now what's he doing? Because he made American Hustle and the other one that you always kind of talk
Fighter.
shit about.
What? I don't talk shit about
Yes, you
Fighter.
do. The Jennifer Lawrence one, Silver Linings Playbook.
Yo, I like Silver Linings Playbook.
Are you sure?
I really like Silver
You
Linings
always
Playbook.
say it like this though. You always go Silver Linings Playbook.
No. That's because what's her face?
Jennifer Lawrence?
No, not Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, that's right.
The mom.
The mom. You hate that she got
Is-
nominated for an Oscar even though she's only in it for like 15 minutes.
I don't hate it. I brought it up as an example of like someone
That's
who
right.
like
Okay.
You know-
I amend my statement. You don't hate Silver
I
Linings
really
Playbook.
like Silver Linings
Okay.
Playbook.
Wait, he made The Fighter?
Yeah, dude.
That movie's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that he made that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that because Jennifer Lawrence isn't in it. Or Bradley Cooper.
Yeah. I mean, it's got Christian Bale though.
Yeah, I know. But like it's a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what's he been up to? I want to find out.
Yeah. Look that up, dude.
I'm gonna look it up right now. Hey, phone, tell me about David O. Russell and what he's doing. And for those confused, it's not O. Russell like an Irish name. It's O like it's his
Period.
middle name. Excuse me. Dude, American Hustle was 2013. That was 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. He's made something called Accidental Love since then. Something called Joy. I'll give you one guess.
Oh, Joy.
Who stars in Joy?
Jennifer Lawrence. I've seen.
I
Joy,
remember
dude.
Joy coming out. Was it good? I never saw it.
It's fine.
That's the movie where she plays a mom, right?
It's weird. Like it's weird and like a.
How-
Why is there a movie about this kind of weird?
Dude,
you know?
are you kidding me? It's got Jennifer Lawrence and Bradley Cooper in it.
Yeah.
And Robert De Niro, who is in. Is it American
Don't
Hustle?
get too excited.
Or Silver Linings Playbook.
He's in Silver Linings Playbook.
Yes.
Because he's her dad, right?
He shows up in one of them
Oh,
like,
no,
as a
he's
surprise.
Bradley Cooper's dad.
Dude, this movie, Accidental Love, very bad IMDb rating. Just going to say. 4.1. Yeah. Jessica
Why?
Biel. Dude, it's got... Wait a minute. Bill Hader? James Marsden? It's got Jake Gyllenhaal. How's it that bad if Jake Gyllenhaal's in it? I don't believe it. Small town waitress gets a mail. Yeah, I don't know, dude. He made a short called Past Forward. He's got 2 upcoming projects. Something called Legacy of Secrecy. Carlos Marcello and his possible involvement in the murder of JFK. Directed and written by David O. Russell. No cast members attached. And then Untitled David O. Russell Project. Plot unknown. Directed and written by David O. Russell. That's it. Thanks, IMDb. Oh, it's a show. Crime drama. 2 episodes, it says. Interesting. So the answer to what has David O. Russell been doing since Silver Linings Playbook and American Hustle and The Fighter is pretty much nothing.
Yeah. Not much.
Not much.
Not much.
That's okay, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. Not everyone can fucking be like Scorsese and everything is fucking out of the park. And even then, like, you'd know better than me. Is everything Scorsese's made great? Has he had any?
I'm not sure what the consensus.
Has he had any like flubs? Like, there's some early Christopher Nolan that people would be like, you know.
Yeah, like I know Nolan's filmography way better than I know Scorsese's.
Yeah.
Because Scorsese's just been working for forever, and he also
Yeah.
does like little projects. And there's certain things that I haven't seen from him.
Mm-hmm.
Like I haven't seen like King of Comedy or Last Temptation of Christ, but I'm pretty sure both of those are pretty respected.
I've also never seen The Last Temptation of Christ. Or King of Comedy. Or most Scorsese
Dude,
movies.
fucking Willem Dafoe. I gotta see that fucking Willem Dafoe Vincent
What
Van
is
Gogh
the one?
movie.
What was the one I'm thinking?
Was it?
Yeah, that came out last year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you just fucking came at me with
Well,
that
'cause that
fucking
tr-
deep ass voice.
Oh,
Just
I'm
fucking-
very-
That came out of nowhere.
I'm
Oh,
very
yeah.
sorry. Is it following? No, he wrote that. What is? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong. Okay.
Chris
Dude,
Nolan made
IMDb.
Following.
He's a director. Put his director stuff first. Come on, what are you doing? Don't put
They
his
put writer
fucking-
stuff
They put
first?
writer, and then they put producer, and then they
Whack.
put director. Whack.
Whack.
Is Insomnia the one that people?
Yeah,
or
Insomnia's
that's
probably-
like it's
that's
like
the consensus
I don't know what
worst.
this movie following is. It's like
I've seen Following.
7.5.
Yeah, solid.
It's like his first big
Mm-hmm.
project. He's got some shorts before that, but I mean, when your second movie is Memento, you're doing pretty good.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Memento is really good, and then like when your fourth movie, you're like, oh, I have Batman Begins. Wow. I saw a video the other day. I think it was like a Screen Junkies thing. And they were like, what's the best Batman movie? And I was like, what's the point of even arguing this? But somebody like was like, you know, somebody has to pick the other movies, one of the other movies. And they were like, I'll try to pick Batman Begins.
Was it movie fights?
Yes. I think they did like a live movie fights at Comic-Con or something.
That'd be fun.
I didn't watch the whole thing. I just like, sometimes movie fights will have like a thing and they'll be like, who should play this? And I'll be like, I'm interested to see who they said, and I'll fast forward to it and see who they answered and then stop watching. I won't even watch them argue. I'm just be like, that's interesting. It's kind of weird. But
I feel like that'd be fun.
but they were like, you know, going on movie fights?
Well, yeah, doing movie fights.
That'd be cool. I'd be a little scared because like I am not a cinephile. Like I know a lot of like actors off the top of my head and stuff, and I can tell you who's been in what, but I haven't seen a bunch of stuff, especially if it was made like before 2005.
Don't they usually prepare them for it though?
Probably they have time and stuff. Yeah,
I think they might give them the questions ahead of time.
no, they do. They do
Yeah.
send them. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think it could be fun.
Uh-huh.
It could be fun. The lightning rounds though is where you get in trouble, where you're like, you gotta come up quick,
Right.
it's dangerous.
I think it would just be fun. Like, I don't know. I've always like been intrigued by the.
The format.
Well, no, being able to debate something that like you don't believe in.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Well, that's a classic speech and debate thing, right?
Yeah. Being able to
You
do
were
it.
in speech and debate, right?
I took a speech class.
Speech class. That's right.
And then we like did a debate in speech class.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
I think we like argued over like Coke and Pepsi or some shit like that. Something arbitrary.
See,
nothing
who
fun.
gets landed with Pepsi? They're screwed. You could always say Coke and Pepsi, the same thing with Dave Chappelle said. Just he's paying them more. The one that tastes better, the one that's paying you more. But yeah, like the dude was like, I guess I'll go Batman Begins. And I was like, you can argue. You can at least argue it. Batman Begins is great. It's great. I'm not saying it's better, but like you could stand on 2 feet and try to argue it with some pride.
I mean, if I were to go against The Dark Knight,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I would have to not go
Out of the
Nolan
Nolan
verse.
verse. That was my first instinct as well. My first instinct was like pick the best animated Batman movie you can think of.
Yeah.
Because that's like as far away as you can get.
Right.
And there are people that will tell you that like Batman Mask of the Phantasm is better. Is the best Batman movie ever.
Yeah,
I don't
so
know
that
if I
might be
agree
the-
with that. It's older. It's cool. It's a cool movie. I saw it a while. I haven't seen it in a long time, but it's very good. I'm not going to go with any of the Batfleck movies. I'm not going to go with fucking Clooney for sure. I'm not going to go with Val Kilmer. I mean, if you wanted to tell me that it's like the one with Danny DeVito as the Penguin and Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, I would listen to your argument, but I would disagree with you. But that's
Tim Burton
a
ones?
good movie. Yeah, the Tim Burton ones, both with Michael Keaton. They're good movies, but like they're not as good as The Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm.
It's just too good.
I'm going Mr. Freeze, Batman and Robin.
Hey,
That's how you
Batman,
gotta do it.
what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age! There's so many puns in that movie. It's so bad.
Have an ice
Day. Hey, Batman, chill out.
So fucking stupid.
It's so dumb. Yo, the most iconic part of that movie is Rubber Lips, though. Fucking
Oh, yeah.
Robin makes out with Poison Ivy, and then he Rubber Lips. It's so.
Is that the same fucking movie as the MasterCard scene?
No, that's Clooney. Or wait, yes,
That
that's the
is Clooney.
movie. Yes,
It is Clooney.
the Bat card.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
don't leave the cave without it. Mm-hmm.
Nipple suits. Classic.
Whole lot.
What were you up to, Schumacher?
Fucking
Man.
Lisa Silverstone was in that movie.
Yeah, she
right?
plays Alfred's niece or something like that, and she becomes Batgirl. Why they created a brand new character to become Batgirl, I don't know. She existed. She's there. She's part of the universe and the lore. Like Barbara Gordon exists. I don't know what they were doing. There are like 3 iterations of Batgirl, and none of them are Alfred's niece. I don't know what they were doing. Like one of them is Jim Gordon's daughter. Another one is like the daughter of 2 assassins who can't speak. And another one is, spoiler, Stephanie Brown, whose dad is also a criminal. Her dad is a Batman villain. Yeah. Classic. I love Batman. Hey, when we do our Q&A episode, just ask me a bunch of Batman questions. Ask me all about it. Ask me who my favorite... I'll power rank the Robins for you. I'll do it. I'll have an hour-long conversation with you about the Robins.
Right.
I'll do it.
Tim Drake's obviously the worst, right?
No. I like Tim Drake.
Okay. Who's the one that got voted off?
Jason Todd got killed off by the fans back in the
Gotcha.
day. And then they brought him back and he's Red Hood. So now he's super cool because he's the Red Hood, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's like fucking cool. He shoots people and shit. He wears a cool mask. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. A lot of people hate Damian. Like, the thing is, I like all the Robins. I like them all. But like, a lot of people hate Damian Wayne. I think he's kind of cool. I like him. He's like a brat, so I get why people don't like him.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a little prick. Because he's like, I was raised by Ra's al Ghul. I'm amazing. And you're like, fucking shut up, Damian. You fucking dick. He's like, I use a sword.
I think people like also naturally hate
New things.
naturally hate new things, but they naturally hate kids.
That's a good point.
Are born rich.
Okay. Like
People-
Batman?
a
Like
lot of
Bruce
people
Wayne?
really fucking hate that. But yeah, but like Batman like went through
He
tragedy.
earned it. He earned it.
Yeah.
He fucking went through fucking bad shit to earn it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not...
It balances itself out because like
Yeah.
fucking everyone normally hates a rich kid, but everyone loves an orphan.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And everyone loves when you beat up bad guys. So when he became Batman, he was set.
Balances itself out.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
Mm-hmm. What'd you do this week, dude?
I went to class. I worked. I went to the park with some friends. Had a little cookout.
You got sunburnt as fuck.
I got super sunburnt. Yep. I brought a change of clothes because I knew we were going to play kickball. And I was like, well, I don't want to sweat in my dope Harry Potter shirt with the Tale of Three Brothers on it because it's a dope-ass shirt. Got complimented, by the way. It's like up there. Like, my Nightwing shirt of all time is the shirt that I get the most. Like, hey, cool shirt, man.
Yeah.
Because like Nightwing is just niche enough that if you're wearing a Nightwing shirt, people know that you're legit. You know what I mean?
Whereas if you're like wearing like a Flash,
If you're wearing like you got a Batman shirt or it's like every mumbo wears a Superman shirt. But like it's like kind of similar. Like my phone case, right? It's got the Deathly Hallows symbol.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, you know, you're a basic ass bitch Harry Potter fan. It's like the easiest logo. It's either this or the 2 glasses with the lightning scar. Like those are like the most basic symbols to represent that you're a fan of Harry Potter. But I got this like cool shirt. I've probably worn it on the show. It's got the Tale of Three Brothers from the movie on it.
Oh, okay.
So it's cool.
Yeah.
I rewatched that movie the other day. It was really good.
Which one?
The 7th movie, part 1 of the 7th book.
Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
I rewatched that and I was like, I don't think I realized how much good stuff is in this movie before. And a lot of people would like tell you that it's like a more boring movie than a lot of them because did you see that? Did my microphone just move towards me? Oh man.
It's a ghost.
That freaked me out. There's a poltergeist in here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, because I like listened to all the binge mode Harry Potter or whatever, I was like, I watched some of the movies again. I think I rewatched the 3rd one and the 7th one and the 5th one. And then I watched both Fantastic Beasts movies back to back. The more I watch those, the more I like them, by the way. The more I watch those movies, the more I like them.
They're fun. I enjoy them.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a majority of the Harry Potter movies, especially in like not the earlier ones, but like 5 through 8 of the Harry Potter movies, I would forget that I watched them. You know what I mean? Like I was watching like a fucking video essay the other day, and like some prequel Star Wars shit. Like they were talking about prequel Star Wars shit. They were talking about bad dialogue, obviously.
Okay.
So they were using.
It's impossible.
So they started,
What's the grain of sand thing?
Huh?
What is that?
No, I think the scene that they were showing was like fucking Hayden Christensen talking to Natalie Portman, fucking and talking.
Are you sure it's not the grain of sand thing?
No, it's not the grain of sand
All right.
thing. It's him talking about how much he loves her.
Okay.
And he's just like over and over again talking about how much he loves her and like all of these like poetic ways of how he loves her.
Uh-huh.
And it's just super redundant and like it's just exposition. It didn't bother me as much. Like I would have to watch it in context.
Yeah.
But when it was taken out of context, I was like, that could be okay. You know, because it's like it's a romantic moment in a movie. So like usually like
the problem is it's no chemistry.
Maybe I don't know. I have a weird. I liked the prequels a lot when I saw them.
When's the last time you saw him though?
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying though. It's like there's probably a lot of shit.
Well, that's the thing.
I'll
Like a
watch it
lot of
again.
people around our age. So okay, I'm a good example of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really know Star Wars super well as a kid.
Right.
Star Wars is a weird thing because it's so popular, but it's from our parents' generation. But there are kids our age growing up that were also huge Star Wars fans because it's a fucking legendary sci-fi story.
Right.
So there was this weird mix like of people like me who didn't know a lot about. They're like, I've seen Star Wars. It's, you know, lightsabers are cool. Jedi are cool. I know what the Millennium Falcon is. I know what a Wookiee, you know, I know basic shit. Mm-hmm. And they saw the prequels and they were like, these are fun. You know, it's fun. Whatever, you know, pod racing. Darth Maul's super cool, which he is. Darth Maul's cool. But then there's like, you know, most people who knows the people who knew Star Wars were like, these movies are fucking awful. And we are offended at how bad they are. It's weird. It's a weird thing.
I think one thing that threw me off was like the CGI for sure.
I'm sure it does not hold up.
Yeah. I knew that going in, but like there's stuff that like, I'm like, why the fuck is that CGI? Mm-hmm. Like they showed obviously like the background of this like fucking palace that he was in or whatever, right? Was CGI'd, but like the fruit that was on the table in front of them was CGI'd.
Just get some fucking fruit.
And I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, why?
You're Star Wars. You can afford some fruit.
Yeah,
that's weird.
It was really strange.
And it's extra weird because the original movies actually hold up really well because it's all the practical effects they used. Mm-hmm. That's really weird.
Like they hold up really well in a way. Because you can still, when you watch the old Star Wars movies, I've seen
you
them
can
more
tell they're
recently,
old movies.
But you can, they're still hokey is the thing.
Sure.
Like they're not like, there's certain movies that when you watch them and like, because they weren't hokey and they were like such really good practical effects in that moment, mm-hmm. right? They are still timeless and they will probably forever be timeless. 2001 is a movie that like, I have no idea how that movie was made fucking like at that point in time because it's
with
still
the,
like
with
when
the
you
technology
watch it,
that they had access to.
when you watch it, it's like, holy shit. Like the only thing that kind of throws you off is like there's dudes in monkey suits.
Fetus baby.
But even the fetus baby is so bizarre.
That's what I mean thrown off.
It's so bizarre that's what will throw you off, but it's not like the time has given it more absurdity. Yeah. Whereas like Star Wars, I feel like it is, yeah, sure, there's practical effects, but like I don't know.
All I know is that when I recently rewatched episode 4, I wanted to bang Harrison Ford. That's all.
Yeah.
So it holds up.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Rest in peace, Carrie Fisher.
Because she did bang Harrison Ford?
In the movie.
I mean, is that the connection that you drew there?
I was just thinking of Carrie Fisher.
I heard something about Harrison Ford the other day. Some like Hollywood... She wasn't an actress. She was like a socialite. And she wrote a book about like her Hollywood escapades, essentially. And in the book, she just talked about how often Harrison Ford would have sex with people. Like,
oh, really?
She was like, Harrison Ford would have sex with like 9 different people in a day. And he would just like fucking go to town. It's fucking crazy.
He has like a crazy Hollywood story, right? Like he was like a handyman or some shit.
Oh, yeah?
And he was like running lines with someone and fucking ended up getting a role.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I know he likes to fly planes and he's rescued people from helicopters. That's pretty cool. Seems like an interesting guy. Also a grumpus,
it's a little weird. I'm not sure if like I would want to be alone in a room with him.
Based on every interview I've ever seen him do, correct.
Seems a little weird, like a little strange.
Maybe he's the kind of person though that is like uncomfortable
in front of a bunch of people.
In front of a lot of people and weirdly in front of cameras. Yeah, like maybe in person he's actually really interesting.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And probably like really chill. Maybe.
Also, like if you don't run up to him and you're like, "Oh my God, you're Han Solo," like he probably appreciates that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
as he famously like hated Han Solo and wanted him to die.
Yeah,
I rewatched one of those recently. I watched The Last Jedi the other night.
Oh yeah.
I think it's so good.
Yeah.
I think it's so fucking good. Like, that's what I was talking about power ranking characters.
Mm-hmm.
It was Star Wars character I was thinking. I was like, who would be like my top 5 favorite Star Wars characters of all time? Because Kylo Ren would be up there.
Dude, we're getting fucking killed out there by Star Wars fans right now. People that really love Star Wars.
No, you're talking about fucking goobers that are like,
There shouldn't be female leads in a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, but you talking about Kylo Ren, dog?
Kylo Ren is the most interesting
I
Star
like
Wars
it.
character that's ever been created.
The-
I'll stand by that.
I mean, yeah, in your opinion.
In my opinion.
I like Kylo
It's
Ren.
my personal power ranking.
I
I'm going to have him in the top 5.
understand, but I'm saying that
You know what?
that still might piss off a lot of
You know
Star
who
Wars
else is going to be in
fans.
my top 5? Fucking Ahsoka's going to be in my top 5 too.
I don't know who that is.
That's right. From the animated series. This is Ahsoka's dope.
I don't know who that is.
She's an alien. She's Anakin's Padawan. She's super cool.
How do you feel about exposition and dialogue? Really random question, right?
Bam! Slap me with a question. I feel like you can get away with it if you do it in a smart way.
All right.
But you can also like really slow something down and be ham-fisted with it. There's a delicate balance to it.
Right.
A lot of people will tell you it's a rule to not do it, but it's also one of those rules where all rules are made to be broken. If you do it in a good way, it's going to be good.
And the rules don't fucking exist.
They don't
There's
actually
no-
exist.
yeah,
Exactly.
There's no rules. Like something can still be compelling. Yeah. Like I'm like I told you like fucking earlier on this week. Pretty much this entire week, I've been like on a deep dive of like good dialogue and like what good.
Yeah, because you're talking about Aaron
is.
Sorkin earlier in the week.
But like I have like 6 different books on dialogue that I haven't read yet, and like I'm like going back through. I'd already read like a couple of them like halfway through, but like I'm working my way through them. And yeah, like I fucking sat down and looked at the intro scene from The Social Network and tried to like break down and like analyze like all of the dialogue, like all of the little intricacies that like I'm like fascinated by and that I never noticed. But yeah, like I just consistently keep running into the show don't tell rule, right? And that you should avoid exposition. But every time I hear that rule or see that I read that rule, I think about The Matrix.
Okay.
The Matrix has like one of the greatest.
The red pill, blue pill.
Well, yeah, but yeah, it's one of the greatest expository scenes that I've ever seen in a movie. And every time I think about The Matrix, I think about that scene because I think about like being a kid and not understanding it.
Yeah.
That was like one of the first movies that I saw when I was a kid.
I still don't understand it.
You understand?
I never remember which pill is which.
I'm
But I
pretty
haven't
sure
seen The Matrix in years.
I'm pretty sure
like years.
red pill it takes you down the rabbit hole, and then blue pill puts you back into the simulation. Right. So like you're not going to get the truth if you take the blue pill. But what I'm specifically talking about isn't just like the red pill, blue pill thing, but when he brings him into the construct for the first time, right? So like he gets taken out of the Matrix and then put back in basically or whatever. But he goes into the construct, which is basically just like a white fucking room, like just nothing but fucking white. And there's like 2 leather chairs sitting in front of a TV, right?
Like Joey and Chandler's apartment.
And that's basically where Morpheus explains the Matrix to Neo.
Yeah.
And I remember as a kid, I was like 8 years old, 7 years old, whatever, when I saw that movie for the first time. And I remember talking to my old lady neighbor that I used to I used to walk her dog all the time. And she was I told her that I'd gone to see that movie, and she was like, "What is it about?"
Oh God.
And
That's
I was
tough.
like fucking 8-year-old me was trying to explain what the Matrix was, and I didn't get it. Like I was just like, it's a sci-fi movie. That's kind of like all I could say. But every time, and I've seen the Matrix multiple.
Yeah, you
times.
love the Matrix.
So, yeah, it's one of my favorite movies. And that scene, I think about that scene a lot. And here's my thing. I think expository. It comes down to like necessity, right?
Well, certain types of stories need more exposition.
Exactly.
For example, we just watched Peanut Butter Falcon. It doesn't need any. You don't need any. We understand how the world works.
Right.
But if you're telling a sci-fi or a fantasy story, you need to find ways to explain how the world works, and you can't do all of it with weird, offhanded comments and recognitions of things that are happening around. Like, you can't do it all that way. Sometimes you just have to have someone explain it.
Yeah, but and it's not even like as much like, oh, you can't do it in other ways, but like sometimes it's just the most efficient and like the most it can just be a really fucking good scene if you just do it in one scene, and if it makes sense to like, is it logical and is it necessary? That's kind of like the two pronged like the questions you need to be asking yourself with an expository scene, right? Because like when I think about that scene from The Matrix, it's absolutely necessary, right? Because it's like incredibly complex idea in this super fucking future sci-fi movie where you're fucking living in a simulation. Like it's a hard concept to grasp, especially if you're fucking 7 years old and you probably shouldn't be watching the movie in the first place. You should be going to see Doug's big movie, but you know, I digress. Hey, Cynthia. My sister brought me to that movie. But anyways, so yeah, is it necessary, right? So like, it's so complex that it's for sure necessary. We need to get this information out there so that they can enjoy the rest of the movie, right?
You need to know why things are happening.
Right.
Yeah.
And is it logical? And this is a big one. And this is one that like, I think kind of a lot of writers fuck up.
Well, so like the fact that it's Morpheus talking to Neo helps. Because Neo is, at that point, basically the audience. He might as well be us not knowing what's going on.
Exactly. He's just standing in front of your audience.
You can't have Morpheus talking to Trinity and explaining the Matrix.
Makes zero fucking sense.
That would be stupid. Yeah.
Makes zero fucking sense. Yeah. That's like when people, we just saw it in that fucking trailer. When someone says to a character, right, "You're my brother," right? It's like kind of that. It's got that feel to it, right? Like it's like when they're giving, and it happened in fucking the prequel series with Star Wars a lot too, where like, "You're my brother, Anakin." Well, no, that I like that scene.
No, that's a good scene.
Yeah. But when
Ewan McGregor is the best
one character is explaining to another character like something that like they should both remember, and at the end they're like, "Don't you remember that?"
Yeah.
It's just fucking whack.
It's dumb.
It's pandering. It talks down to your audience.
But even that, like, there are funny and creative ways to even do that. Like, if one of your characters is an idiot, you can make bits out of it. Like, every rule can be broken. Every stage of it can be done in a different twist.
Sure.
Yeah,
for sure. If you do it in a creative way.
Yeah. Those are my thoughts on
exposition
and dialogue.
Okay.
Thanks for asking. Out of nowhere. Thanks for slapping me with a question. Do you wish you could catch a fish with your bare hands?
Yeah.
Like Yannick Noah?
That'd be pretty freaking sweet.
I don't know how useful it would be.
What? How is that not useful?
It just seems like a party trick to me.
How you could feed a family? Like you could. How is that? That's.
You could, like, obviously if you were in a situation,
literally
but like you can feed a family with a fishing pole.
The phrase, like the idiom that people use for like teaching people how to do something useful involves catching a fish.
Teach them how to fish. But yeah. But like you could catch a fish with a fishing pole. You don't need your hands to do it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, but if you're really good at catching it with your hands,
that's true.
You don't have to hurt as many fish. You could just catch that fish, right? Bring it onto land, immediately chop its head off instead of like dragging its cheek around.
It's more humane. That's true.
But then again, you could use nets.
That is also true.
Son of a bitch, and you can catch more.
You catch more
fish with the nets.
It's still pretty cool. It's cool. Hey, are you excited that football's gonna be back soon?
Not at all. It's cool. You know what? I'm rooting for the Browns, kind of.
Yeah. Okay. Here's my thing with the Browns.
All
right.
What's wrong with the Browns?
I get why people are excited because the Browns have been the laughingstock of sports for like fucking 15 or 20 years. They're fucking awful. They're a joke. Yeah. And they might actually be good for once. But the second it happens, they're like the most overhyped shit ever. It drives me nuts. They're literally like, people are like, the Browns are going to win the Super Bowl. And I'm like, you need to calm down. This dude has never head coached a team in his life.
Right.
Step back.
I don't know much about football, but it seems like too much.
Baker is in the second year of his career. Calm down.
Yeah. They just seem like a fun team to root for.
They're going to be fun.
Yeah.
I love Baker Mayfield. I showed you that video of him fucking getting hype as the coach was challenging a play in preseason.
Right, yeah.
He's fun to watch. He's crazy. But like, everyone needs to collectively take a deep breath, take a step back, and realize that the Browns might just go 9-7 and miss the playoffs. It could happen. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could happen.
How many games did they win last year?
I have no idea. Maybe 6, 5 or 6, maybe.
Could be a fun 9 games, though.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be a fun 9 games. Yeah. Odell and Jarvis are reunited. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Their D-line is amazing.
Well, their fucking other wide receiver that they got, right? Their wide receiver they're using him like he's like a punt returner.
Talking about the dude who was fucking homeless. That's a super cool story.
It's a fucking really cool story.
Something. I forget his full name. Giuseppe. Yeah.
Like I think it's Damon.
He was living.
Giuseppe.
He was playing in like weird minor leagues and stuff like that, and somebody told him about a tryout that was going on, and then he slept like out of 24-hour fitness and shit, and then he convinced the dude that he had been invited to the workout, and then he made it's a very cool story, and then he took a punt back for a touchdown last week.
Yeah.
Hopefully he makes a team, because if he doesn't, that'll be really sad.
Yeah, it would suck.
That happens a lot. You'd be like surprised, like these, because the problem, right? He's a returner. He's not a good receiver. Like, he was being told in college that he wasn't a good receiver. They were like, just focus on returning kicks.
Well, because he like apparently he was running track at first, and then he hurt himself, so he couldn't do his event anymore. And then he went and played college football for 4 years or whatever, and then he spent his last buck to go to that workout.
Yeah, he paid like $200 for that workout and fucking made it seem super cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he was like staying at like a 24-hour fitness or whatever.
Yep. Yeah, he was apparently like going to like block parties to eat.
Oh, really?
And he was just like walking up to block parties and eating food. It's like he's not even from there. It's funny. I feel like you could pull it off though. Like that's very much the situation of act like you belong and you'll be good. Like if you roll up to a block party and you're like you act like you'll be perfectly fine. Yeah. So somebody eventually is going to be like, "Oh, do you know Cheryl?" And you're like, "Yeah, I know Cheryl." But then you meet Cheryl and she's like, "Do you know Dawn?" And you're like, "Yeah." Yeah, that was a very cool, heartwarming story.
So I am rooting for the Browns. That's
so are you converting to being okay, good.
No.
Go Lions.
Lions fan.
You're a huge Lions fan.
I can name you all the players.
I know you can name their quarterback.
Uh-huh.
Come on. I know you're trolling me.
Matt Stafford.
Yeah. The inglorious Stafford himself.
Yep.
Probably can't tell me their coach's name.
No.
Do you know what he looks like?
Nope.
Matt Patricia. Big dude, big beard. Used to be Patriots defensive coordinator. Yep. They're probably not going to be that good.
No, probably not.
They're probably going to be last in that division. Probably. Unless Mitchell Trubisky is just hot trash and ruins the Bears' lives. But I don't think that will happen. I think he'll be okay. I think, if nothing else, Matt Nagy will just scheme it up so he'll be okay. Matt Nagy's a good coach.
Matt Nagy?
He's the Bears' head coach. He was the Chiefs' offensive coordinator before being the Bears' head coach.
He's the new Bears head coach?
He was their coach the last 2 years, I think. He never coached Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, okay.
So he's been on the Bears for a while. Or he might have been their Patrick Mahomes rookie year, but Patrick Mahomes didn't start. He sat for a whole season behind Alex Smith. I'm excited. Like I watched the Hall of Fame game. I watched the first half of the Hall of Fame game, partially because I wanted to see how bad Drew Lock was, because I just have no faith in Drew Lock, and because it was like the first football in 9 months or whatever. And then I watched the Dolphins game the other day, and I was like, wow, our offensive line is just disgustingly awful. But Josh
They've
Rosen
always been bad too, right?
The Dolphins?
No, the offensive line.
pretty much. Like there was a period in like the year we won the division when we ran the Wildcat and shit. Our offensive line was pretty good. They were decent. Like we had Jake Long, Vernon Carey. We did not have Mike Pouncey yet. We've had it's been bad for a long time. Even like when we had Jake Long, we drafted number 1 and he was great. It was like he was great for like 5 years, and then he started having chronic injury problems.
Where are the Pouncey brothers at?
Marquise is still on the Steelers, always has been. Mike is on the 49ers now. And I'm pretty sure they both might still say free Aaron Hernandez if you gave them the opportunity, which is kind of weird. Yeah, it's a little rough.
Strange.
It's a little rough. That dude murdered people. Shouldn't free him.
I mean, he ultimately
Murdered himself.
Yeah.
Pulled an Epstein, as they might say these days. Hey! Hey! I think there's some good fights coming up. Nate Diaz is coming back. Fighting Anthony Pettis.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fun fight.
I think that might be this weekend.
Uh-huh.
Yoel Romero's on that card. There's a good main event. I can't remember what it is. I'll look it up. Nate Diaz hasn't fought in forever.
Mm-hmm.
And him fighting Anthony Pettis is a dope fight. Do you have this weird thing where, like, whenever you watch Anthony Pettis, you kind of, like, expect him to do something insane because of the cage run kick?
Yeah.
I get that with,
nickname Showtime.
Yeah, I get that with him, and I get it with Uriah Hall, who I don't even know if he's in the UFC anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But because on The Ultimate Fighter, he had one of the greatest knockouts I've ever seen with like that super clean spinning back kick. Every time I watch him fight, I'm like expecting him to do something insane.
Mm-hmm.
The main event is fucking Daniel Cormier versus Stipe. That's a lot of fun. That's a fucking fun card. That is this Saturday. Hype. That's awesome. I wonder if it'll be Daniel's last fight.
Could happen.
I feel like if he gets knocked out, it will be.
Is there any way that Stipe wins a decision? Any way that the UFC is going to let that happen?
Ooh. I mean, I think if he's dominant in a decision, he would win it.
Yeah,
but
obviously.
if you were to tell me,
I said that tongue in cheek.
if you were to tell me Stipe DC went the distance, I would assume DC won, just because he was wrestling the whole time. The odds of Stipe winning by decision seem kind of low. He's gonna finish. Like if he's gonna beat you, he's gonna knock you out. He's dangerous. Cleveland's own, dude. He's from the land. Bitch, I'm from the land. Yeah, I can't decide like if I want Daniel Cormier to win and then do another fucking John Jones event. Because it's just like, even if you beat John Jones at heavyweight, who cares? Right? You know what I mean?
I would care.
Like he would care. For him, it'd be like getting over a big monkey off his
If that
back.
was like his last fight, right? He legit beats John Jones.
To me, it wouldn't mean as much doing it at heavyweight.
What do you mean?
It wouldn't mean as much doing it at heavyweight to me.
Why?
Because to me, John Jones had a huge disadvantage at heavyweight than where he is at light heavyweight. I think you can see it in his last few fights. Like his power is not going to translate to heavyweight. There's dudes that have way more power than him up there. And I think Daniel Cormier being able to carry on as much poundage as he wants is going to help him a lot. I still think John would win, but
yeah, I'm not sure if I agree with that.
of it not meaning as much at heavyweight.
So you think that it's more advantageous for Cormier to fight John Jones at heavyweight?
Daniel Cormier might be an exception because of his build and his power.
I'm talking about more.
I'm talking about more about the heavyweight class in general.
Yeah.
John is not, the power is going to be a problem,
Right.
And there's going to be more people that can match his reach advantage and stuff like that.
But that's the thing is like if it's just between Cormier and John Jones,
yeah, I guess.
I think that would still be a.
I don't know. It just seems kind of weird to me to just be like, well, John beat me multiple times at light heavyweight, and then when we fought at heavyweight, and Daniel Cormier could theoretically outweigh him by like 20 pounds. Seems a little weird.
I think that would still be a pretty incredible feat.
Oh, it'd still be like, and obviously, like for him, it'd be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be this huge victory.
Yeah.
But I think it would mean more if he beat him at light heavyweight. But I don't think that's going to happen. Hey.
Did you see this shit with Emily Ratajkowski?
Nope.
What she you don't follow her on Instagram?
Nope.
Yeah, I do obviously because she's hot. She posted a photo. It's like a professional photo shoot of her like lifting her arm up, and she had armpit hair.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think about that? Well, it's like a feminist movement.
Okay.
It's like that's what she's doing. It's like she's
Cool.
like demonstrating.
I feel like she should do with her armpit hair whatever she wants to do with it.
Yeah. Right.
Like,
That's the thing. It's like at the same time, it is like simultaneously like, I support your decision as a woman to do that, but I'm also not attracted to it.
that's fine.
Yeah.
You have the
Finding-
right to not be attracted to it.
Yeah.
Also, like, I feel like there's a really good chance that she did that photo shoot and then immediately shaved her armpits.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know a lot about Emily Ratajkowski, but I feel like that's a possibility.
She's an uber feminist.
That's-
Yeah.
yeah.
But I found it really interesting because it's like, if there was anybody in the world to do that, right? Like she's one of the hottest women on the planet, right? And one of the most famous models on the planet, right?
What movie was she in? Gone Girl?
Yeah, she was in Gone Girl. She was probably like she got her notoriety, her fame from the Blurred Lines video, right? And then
Blurred
has-
Lines. I know you want it.
yeah. Mhm.
That one.
Yeah, she was in that. And
The one
then
they got sued
she's done
for.
a lot of acting. She was in a movie with Zac Efron, I think.
That's an attractive duo.
Oh yeah, like they just make a test tube baby with them.
Yeah, that would be something.
Mhm.
She's pretty tall too, right? So like she could overcome his like lack of great height.
Is Zac Efron super short?
I feel like he's like in the mid five, like 5'7", 8" range.
Right.
He's like below average, I would guess.
Right.
I might be wrong though. Just like what I would guess.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm gonna look it up because I'm curious. Yeah, man.
No, but I
do whatever you
thought
want with
there was
your
like an
hair.
interesting thing that happened in the world. I was like, oh, she did that. It's real.
It's real. He's 5'8". Did I say that? Did I say 5'7", 5'8"?
Yeah, I think so.
Nailed it.
think so.
Hell yeah. He's got 2 middle names.
Then he has no middle names.
That's true.
That's a Dimitri Martin
Yeah.
joke.
Zachary David Alexander Efron. Albus Percival Wulfric Brian Dumbledore. There's a great part.
Wolfrid?
Wulfric.
Wolfric.
So like, there's a great part in the 5th Harry Potter movie, and Michael Gambon, like his decisions as Dumbledore are very questionable. You know the Goblet of Fire joke, right? It's like a classic meme.
Yeah, he's like super angry.
Did you put your name on the Goblet of Fire?
Yeah.
In the books, it literally says he asked quietly.
Right.
It's like he does a lot of weird shit as Dumbledore, or calmly. I'm sorry, he says he asked calmly. But there's like this great moment in the court scene in the 5th Harry Potter movie where he says his full name, and he's like Albus Percival Wulfric Brian Dumbledore. He like stresses the Brian because it's like the most basic name. It's so silly. How do you spell Ratajkowski? Oh, never mind. She came right up.
Yep.
How tall is she? She's 5'7", so she's above average height. She's only an inch shorter than Zac Efron.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if you made a test tube baby, it would be tall-ish. Like it could be.
They could have a 6 foot baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the baby would grow up to end up being 6 foot.
It wouldn't come out 6 feet.
No.
Unless you did some weird Damian Wayne science where you raised the baby in a test tube like until it was fully grown. Or in Damian
Right.
Wayne's case until he was like 12 or whatever.
Uh-huh.
That's weird though. Don't do that.
It's kind of like weird Resident Evil shit.
I don't know a lot about Resident Evil. Are
I
there
know that
babies
there's a lot
raised
of weird
in
stuff
tubes?
that happens, so it might
Oh,
as
okay.
well happen, you know,
Okay.
in Resident Evil.
Yeah, why not?
What do you think about this Rich Paul shit?
Rich Paul. Oh, the Rich Paul rule.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust the NCAA. I assume they're doing it for nefarious reasons.
Right.
Even though they hide behind what could be debated as noble cause,
Uh-huh.
I don't believe them.
Uh-huh.
I just assume they're trying to keep money for themselves at all
there
times.
might be ulterior motives. I'll play devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
So like their argument, right, is that they're trying to protect these college
fringe pro level players
Right.
from most notably their own families
players.
a lot of the times,
Mm-hmm.
which is fine. But you know what? Like
So there's like rule that
your
we're talking
your
about.
weird arbitrary rules you came up with are like they don't make sense.
So
you're
this
keeping
rule-
out people who have proved that they can do the job really well.
Right. So the rule that we're talking about right now, like, so the NCAA basically like strengthened, they bolstered their.
And we should say it isn't officially a rule yet. It was leaked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Yeah, but they leaked that like they're trying to bolster this rule on who can represent NCAA players. Correct.
It's specifically who can represent. It's if high school players want to be represented to see if they can be drafted instead of going to college.
right.
Yeah.
But
I believe.
the most notable part, stipulation criteria
you need
that
a
you need to
bachelor's
have,
degree.
you need a bachelor's
Which
degree,
Rich Paul does not have.
which Rich Paul does not
Because
have.
like
a
LeBron James, his best friend, Rich Paul didn't go to college.
Right.
Because he was like, hey, LeBron, I'll be your agent.
Mm-hmm.
And now he runs a huge, insanely successful management company.
But a wise man once told me, plenty of people didn't go to college.
Talking about Michael Scott?
LeBron James.
Yep.
Tracy McGrady.
Yep.
Kobe Bryant.
Yep. Just named all basketball players.
Yeah, it seems like there's something nefarious, right? Like there might be ulterior motives.
I mean, it just, yeah. It seems
It seems like they're trying to
It seems
cut
like they're
out Rich
holding on
Pauls,
for dear life.
The Rich Pauls of the
like
world.
they know that the NBA is changing things very soon.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to get out ahead of it as best they can to keep themselves afloat.
Right. And it's also not. I don't know. I'm not sure if this is like just a straight up logical fallacy or not. But it seems illogical to me. It seems like even if someone has a degree, they can still fuck.
They
you
can still be
over.
bad. That's the thing. That's that a bunch of people made the argument. Like, there's a ton of people with degrees, and a lot of them are bad agents.
Mm-hmm.
You don't like getting a degree doesn't make you a good agent. And like, you know, at a certain point, you can't hide behind the protecting players thing. Like, you know what I mean? It's like a lot of the stuff that the NFL does sometimes, and they say it's like, oh, this is for player safety, and it's like, we know that you don't give a fuck at this point about like you just use it as a cloud, like to make people think you mean well for a lot of stuff. It's dumb. So like
It's
you
just
being
something
like,
that
we're
you
just trying to
keep in your
protect,
back pocket.
we're trying to protect the kids from their uncles. Like, you know, if a kid wants to be represented by their family, they're going to be represented by their family, and if they're bad at it, they're going to make mistakes and they're going to learn from the mistakes, like anyone else.
I've been playing with this thing all day.
I know, dude. I told you that it's
a
like a
fidget
fidget
spinner,
spinner. You want to do shout outs?
Yeah, let's do it.
We've been fucking vamping for a while. What did I got here? Ooh, that's right. So this was sort of from the football world this week. I don't know if you heard about the Stephen Ross stuff. The Dolphins owner Stephen Ross owns. He's a sports owner. He's a billionaire. He is throwing a fundraiser for Donald Trump where tickets are like $250,000 a pop or something. And my shout out is Kenny Stills, Dolphins wide receiver. Kenny Stills was very vocal about, he basically said, you can't on one hand run this organization that talks about wanting to help diversity and wanting to help youth organizations from minorities, families, and then on the other hand, raise all this money for Donald Trump. He's like, these things conflict. And it blew up pretty big. Like, a bunch of people are now boycotting his gyms or something. Equinox, I think they're called. My shout out for Kenny Stills is specifically because of all the amazing work that he does. He's done like every offseason, he does different social outreach tours. I know a couple years ago he did a bus tour around America where he went to like different communities and raised a bunch of money and threw all these amazing like events. And he's the most put your money where your mouth is athlete that I can think of, besides maybe like LeBron James and I like Colin Kaepernick, because the dude literally has lost money because he's not in the league.
Right.
But he, you know, whether or not you agree with kneeling or with, you know, any of the arguments or whatever, I think that people would know where we're going to land on those. But even if you're like, oh, you know, I don't think players should kneel and blah, 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 you cannot downplay that Kenny Stills makes a huge mark on his community with all of the work he does. And he's just an amazing dude with all the work. And I just wanted to shout that out because it's like a hot topic right now with what's going on down there with the owner. And Kenny's been very vocal against him. Like the second that happened, Kenny was like, yeah, this ain't it. And like the Dolphins coach was like, I wish you would have like talked to Stephen Ross first before you. And Kenny was like, I'm not going to like stand by while, you know, shit, I don't agree with this happening. And, you know, whether, again, like whatever you lean on the politics, I don't care. You can't deny the fact that Kenny Stills does amazing work for his community and really puts his money where his mouth is. He's dope.
Okay, cool. Kenny Stills.
Mm-hmm.
My shout out for this week is another YouTube channel. I think this is 2 weekends in a row. Two weeks in a row.
Shake it up, man.
Fucking YouTube channels. Fucking my boy Nerdwriter. So like, if you just search Nerdwriter on YouTube, his videos will come up. But it's Nerdwriter 1 is his like actual. I guess he couldn't get Nerdwriter.
All these posers out here, dude.
Yeah.
Nerdwriter 0,
somebody stole
comma
Nerdwriter.
2 through infinity.
Yeah.
All the fakes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he's Nerdwriter 1, but he basically just makes really good video essays for different things, and it's usually pop culture stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'll recommend 2 different videos that I watched most recently. He did a video on one of the most disturbing paintings in the world, like what he thinks is one of the most disturbing paintings, and it's like he goes into art history a little bit, but yeah, he goes he talks about this dude Francisco Goya, who was living in he's French, I believe, but yeah, I don't want to fuck up this dude's story, but I would recommend that one. It's the title for the video is like most disturbing painting of all
What's
time.
the painting of?
So it's Neptune eating his son.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's a super fucked up
Percy
painting.
Jackson?
But like
Poor
the
guy.
most fucked up thing about it was that like it was like of a series of paintings that this dude did inside of his own house, and he like didn't have any people over. He did it for himself, and he did it in his dining room. It's really fucked up. But yeah, that video is really good. Another one, he talks about he did an entire video on the song "Polly" by Nirvana, which is the 6th track off of their fucking one of the most greatest albums of all time, Nevermind. Yeah, it's the 6th track on that album. I've heard this song before, and I really enjoy it. It's a fucking great Nirvana song. But I wasn't sure. Like I wasn't informed on the backstory of this song. So apparently, it's based on a true story of this 14-year-old girl who got abducted, raped, and tortured by this 27-year-old dude.
What the?
Right, and this song is from the perspective of the rapist, the guy that fucking that took her, right? And it's super dark, super fucked up. But it's also very apparently like the whole video goes into how much of a feminist that Kurt Cobain was, and like how outspoken he was about like how fucked up American like the approach to like sexual education, and how female centric like we were trying to solve rape, you know, like how we were trying to like
what did she do wrong?
Exactly,
how did she entice
right?
him?
And he was just very outspoken about like we should focus. We should go to the source.
If she didn't wear
and we
such
should
short
get-
shorts.
Yeah, we should get men to not rape.
Yeah.
Which seems incredibly fucking
Yeah,
obvious, right? But but it's a really fucking good video talking about that song. It's just a really good song too. So I'd recommend Nerdwriter or Nerdwriter 1. He has a lot of good stuff. He has one bad video.
Yeah?
Yeah, one bad video.
Which one?
It's a video about the authenticity of dialogue. It's about the Meyerowitz stories, and he talks about Noah Baumbach and stuff. I hate that fucking video.
Is it because he says it's good and you don't like it?
And I don't like Noah Baumbach.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. Those are
It's not even like it's not even like the writing of Noah Baumbach's dialogue. It's like the direction of Noah. I feel like if I read Noah Baumbach's dialogue, I would really like it. Anyways, Nerdwriter.
Cool. So shout out Nerdwriter 1 and Kenny Stills. Like we mentioned earlier, there's a poll. Go vote on that. There is the Q&A video coming up. Send us some questions. I think that's all the Peanut Butter Falcon episode later this week. That's all the business. Find Chris. What did I just do? I skipped ahead. Hold on. Let me rewind my tape in my brain of myself. Find Chris at chrismichaelstott.com to read his scripts and Chris Michael Stott on Instagram. Find me, Davenwell25 on Twitter and Instagram. Find the show, The Chris and Kyle Show, at tcaks on Twitter, The Chris and Kyle Show on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all the podcasting platforms. You can vote on the poll on Twitter and Facebook. You can leave the questions on any of those places. We will find them. I think that's it. We'll see you later this week. We out.
We out. Stay weird.